You asked and we listened. We've created the ultimate Disneyland bucket list for all my West Coast park guests out there, and we're giving you the full rundown of our entire list today here on DFB Guide. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. First, we created a Disney World bucket list, and now we're creating one for Disneyland. That way you can combine them all together to create a mega Disney bucket list if you want to. Before we get started, I want to super quickly, mention two things. First, in front of each bucket list entry, there's going to be a little $ emblem showing you how much you can roughly expect to pay to accomplish said item. Just keep in mind that these prices do not include what you're already paying for the tickets to get into the parks in the first place. And two, while you're more than welcome to use this list to help you create a fun-filled Disneyland itinerary, we do have a free Disneyland PDF that's sole purpose is to help you create 3 perfect days across the West Coast parks. You can pick that up right now by scanning the QR code you see on the screen or by clicking the link in the description for disneyfoodblog.com/DisneylandPlans after this. Starting out with one of my favorite ones, visiting the office. No, not the office as in Michael Scott and spilled chili. I'm talking about the secret room inside Disney California Adventure's Lamplight Lounge, which is also called the office. To access this office, you'll first have to enter through a secret vault. This means spinning the vault wheel to light up all 3 light panels, which will be your key to opening up this intimate space made for 13 guests max. Inside the office, you'll find sketches of Pixar animators framed up on the wall, as well as classic board games that you can actually remove from the wall and play if you want. Unfortunately, the office can't be specifically booked, so you have to luck out with this one, but it does help to ask about if it's available if you're checking in for your reservation with a large party in tow. I was actually surprised with a meal in the office for my 40th birthday by my best friend Heather, so that was amazing. Now, who doesn't love the little man of Disneyland? This is a leprechaun who these days spends his hours in a teeny tiny house at the base of a tree in Disneyland's Adventureland. But where are my manners? This leprechaun's name is Patrick Bagora, and he made his first appearance in one of Disney's Little Golden Books, which according to Disney was published in 1955, the same year Disneyland opened. Basically, it was a book that tried to justify that it was cool that Disney was pulling down a bunch of orange groves and putting up, a giant theme park. Anyway, if you want to see Patty's little home for yourself and check this item off your Disneyland bucket list ASAP, you can find it near the entrance of Indiana Jones Adventure at the base of the tree trunk, all tangled within the roots. You'll see an itty-bitty door, an itty-bitty window, an itty-bitty smokestack, and an itty-bitty porch light. Home sweet home. And if you're visiting Patrick during a holiday season, he will most definitely be decorated. Before Epcot had Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, there was Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout in Disney California Adventure. You remember how they turned Tower of Terror into Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout? Sure you do. And the two things that both rides have in common, besides starring Rocket, Groot, and the rest of the Guardians team, is that there are 6 potential 70s and 80s super rad songs that you can have playing in the background of your ride-through. And since these songs are always randomized, you never know what you're gonna get. But it is super fun to try to get them all. By the way, the best song in Disney World is Tears for Fears. The best song in Disneyland is Jackson 5, just so you know. So this is a rite of passage, really. New Orleans Square in Disneyland Park is best known for 2 specific types of snacks. The first is their Mint Julep, a non-alcoholic beverage, which you can find over at the Mint Julep bar, obviously. And the second is their beignets, which you can also find at the Mint Julep bar as well as the Tiana's Palace quick service. Just know that you can only get Mickey beignets at the Mint Julep bar, not at Tiana's. She sticks with the square ones. While beignets and mint juleps come in all sorts of seasonal varieties, the pure and classic versions are available year-round. And sometimes it's just really hard to beat the classics, even when the limited edition items seem really tempting. On July 17th, 2025, Walt Disney finally returned to Disneyland Park. Or At least, kind of. Walt Disney: A Magical Life is a new show inside the Main Street Opera House, which will rotate along with the already established Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln show. During this show, a Walt Disney animatronic will be inside his office speaking about perseverance and achieving dreams, all while quoting many familiar Waltisms, including the classic "It all started with a mouse." This is definitely a bucket list item for all the major Disney fans out there, since you're not going to find another Walt Disney animatronic anywhere else. The Disneyland Hotel has some straight up, super bougie, unbelievably incredible bucket list worthy suite options with over the top theming that might make it hard for you to leave your room and actually experience the parks themselves. There are 5 themed signature suites in total: the Adventureland Suite, the Big Thunder Suite, the Fairy Tale Suite, the Pirates of the Caribbean Suite, and the Mickey Mouse Penthouse. Like I said, these are not your everyday hotel rooms. These are advanced hotel rooms, complete with immersive, magical Disney touches. These suites are also very hard to book and very expensive to book, so consider this entry as the boss level of your Disneyland bucket list. Similar to the Disneyland Hotel, Pixar Place also has ultra bougie premium suites that you can now book to make you feel like you've been dropped into the set of a Pixar film. There are 2 different movies you can potentially be a part of. The Coco Suite is inspired by the Rivera family hacienda and even includes family photos and mementos that'll make you feel like you're right at home with them. And the Incredible Suite features mid-century designs with the primary bedroom inspired by the Parr parents and the connecting room inspired by Edna Mode. Why? I don't know. The entryway also features this really cool hand scanning prop, which is only the beginning of all the super inspired touches and special effects featured throughout the suite, like a spy phone and hidden messages and secret doors and more. Now here's a bucket list Disneyland tour that might have flown over your radar before. The Disneyland Railroad Guided Tour is a 90-minute experience where you're going to learn all about the Disneyland Railroad. Plus, you'll get to ride inside the exclusive Lily Bell part of the train. Lillian Disney, Walt's wife, played a large role in decorating this car, which is why you'll find some of her own photographs and family belongings inside of it during the tour. And this tour is one of the few ways to see the Lily Bell in person and to ride in it. Along with a Lily Bell ride, the tour also includes a sweet treat, a walk through the park learning about how Walt came up with his ideas concerning the Disneyland Railroad, a tour of the Disneyland Park Roundhouse, a meeting with a train engineer, and a special keepsake. You might not be considering rope dropping the Storybook Land canal boats during your next Disneyland visit, but maybe you should if you've got your heart set on this bucket list experience. On most mornings, a Storybook Canal cast member will bring out this super special book to the queue. And this book, my friends, is called The Captain's Log. The only folks who are allowed to sign it are the first Storybook Canal riders of the day, meaning your name will literally go down in Disneyland history. Talk about an honor. Or you could sign the Winnie the Pooh secret guest book. Just go ahead and copy and paste the bucket list item we just talked about, but add it to the many adventures of Winnie the Pooh instead, because there's a second secret guest book hanging out over there for the first riders of the day to sign. You can have your signature floating around multiple places in Disneyland. Very fun stuff. For a long time after the pandemic closures, guests weren't allowed to ride in the front of the Disneyland monorail anymore. But back in 2024, the front seats opened back up again. So now you, once again, have the chance to ride in the monorail's nose. Not a great visual, but you know what I mean. Not only do the front seats of the monorail give you, well, a front seat view of the tracks ahead, but you'll also be right there next to the cast member pilot as they operate their vehicles. So you'll have not only front row seats, but behind the scenes action. Front row seating is very limited for the monorail, and your best chance of getting those VIP seats is asking a monorail cast member about them before you board. This doesn't guarantee you a spot on the front or anything, but those who ask about it might have a better shot than those who don't. You might even be able to hang back and wait on the next monorail to arrive if you're willing to wait on those front row seats. So it's not just a Disneyland myth. There are actually legitimately over 200 feral cats living inside Disneyland Park at all times. But these cool cats and kittens have a job to do. At night, they come out to keep rodents away, not including Mickey and Minnie. Those rodents are kind of a big deal around these parts, and they're allowed to stay. But if you ever encounter one of these feline nocturnal cast members during the day, consider yourself one lucky cat. I have seen Francisco a couple of times, and I love him. This is your bucket list triple whammy. Disneyland Park doesn't just have one nighttime spectacular for you to experience, it has 3. At least most nights it has 3. But you'll need to check the Disneyland calendar online to make sure that that's also going to be the case during your next visit. Again, show times vary for all 3 of these experiences, but if you time your visit right, you could potentially see the Paint the Night Parade sometime after 8 p.m., watch the Wondrous Journeys Castle show after 9, and wrap up your evening with Fantasmic after 10. Bam, 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 all in the same evening. Note that Paint the Night will wrap up performances on November 9th, 2025, but return at a later date in 2026. Who said a bucket list had to be stressful? Disney's Grand Californian Hotel is home to the Tenaya Stone Spa, where you can book an afternoon of whatever treatments and services will make you say that stereotypical, "this is the life" kind of quote. Treatments range from stone massages, salon services, even gemstone sparkle facials. And Bria and I both agree that if we weren't creeped out by people touching our face, then we would love to do a gemstone sparkle facial. Prices vary depending on the spa treatment that you choose, but you can make reservations and check details through the Disneyland website or by calling 714-300-7310 to book your appointment. If you'd rather put the Plaza Inn's character breakfast, Minnie and Friends Breakfast in the Park, on your Disneyland bucket list instead, I get it. But honestly, I would take the cafeteria-style dining that happens during lunch and dinner at Plaza Inn over breakfast here any day of the week of the year, just because that's when you're going to be able to order the best fried chicken ever. The chicken entree at Plaza Inn is massive and comes with 3 pieces of fried chicken. It is so huge, and every time I get it, I always feel kind of gross because it's so giant. It's seasoned with Disneyland's specialty blend of herbs and spices and served with sides of mashed potatoes and gravy, a buttermilk biscuit, and seasonal vegetables. But the star of this show is that gloriously golden chicken. It is so crispy with a tender and juicy interior, and it's really ruined me for other places that serve home-style fried chicken, since Plaza Inn sets the bar. Avengers Campus has a lot of cool things going on at all times, but the coolest event to witness here is the amazing Spider-Man swinging across the top of the buildings, just like you'll see him do in the movies and TV shows and comics. Spider-Man does this rather impressive acrobatic stunt performance every 30 minutes, starting at 10:15 a.m. and going until 4:45, though times are subject to change, so check that Disneyland app and make sure you don't miss him. Basically, if you're walking through Avengers Campus and there's like 6 million people standing over to the side staring at the top of a building, he's probably about to do it. Trader Sam's Enchanted Tiki Bar hiding out at the Disneyland Hotel and ready for you to order one of their more spirited cocktails. That is the epicenter of this next point. If you're familiar with the Disney World side of things, then you probably already have an idea of what Trader Sam's is like, considering you can find the sibling bar, Trader Sam's Grotto, over at Disney's Polynesian Village Resort. But in case you aren't familiar, the real appeal of this place is how it's heavy on the enchanted side of things. So which special libations you order will determine what different effects are triggered around the bar. Until 8 p.m., this restaurant's available for the whole family to experience, but only guests 21 and over are allowed in afterwards. And unlike the Trader Sam's in Disney World, the version in Disneyland does have advanced dining reservations up for grabs to help you secure your spot. You can also get breakfast here, and that's a must-do. And just a heads up, for all my Disneyland people, I do need to say, the Trader Sam's Enchanted Tiki Bar was the first Trader Sam's, and Grotto was the second. Come on, you just gotta! A big Disneyland snack staple are those hand-battered corn dogs that never seem to let the corn dog aficionados, like me, down. When you go to Little Red Wagon Cart in Main Street, USA, the Stage Door Cafe in Frontierland, or Corn Dog Castle in DCA, each of these locations is going to be able to hook you up with this traditional snack. And I will be honest with you, my friends, I didn't even like corn dogs until I had a Disneyland corn dog. And now I love them. What's so special about these as opposed to any other corn dog you can pick up at your typical fast food location is the quality. Since the corn dogs are hand dipped, they come out perfectly crunchy with a thick and tasty layer of corn batter. It is a sweet corn batter too. I love how sweet it is surrounding that dog. And the dog to batter ratio is why this savory treat comes out on top time and time again. Per the release of this video, we're still waiting for the Napa Rose dining experience inside Disneyland Resort to reopen from its extended refurbishment. But when it does reopen, all you food connoisseurs out there will want to add this restaurant to the top of your dining bucket list. Napa Rose has always been known for its elevated California cuisine and world-class wines, but my favorite thing to do here is to get a seat next to the chef's counter to watch my meal be prepped right there in the kitchen. Disney California Adventure really goes all out around Halloween, especially in the after-hours department. Oogie Boogie Bash is DCA's limited capacity, separately ticketed event that happens on select nights between 6 and 11 p.m. Though event ticket holders can enter DCA as early as 3 p.m. with no park reservations necessary. During the event, you're going to be able to experience exclusive Halloween entertainment and activities like the frightfully fun parade, treat trails, and the rarest character appearances from some of the most dastardly Disney villains out there. But what I think really makes this event stand out against all the other Disney After Hours events out there is the Villains Grove walkthrough. Villains Grove takes place inside the Redwood Creek Challenge Trail and transforms this usually kids area into an immersive walkthrough inspired by the villains. Now, if you're someone who's interested in haunted mazes, but you really can't get behind all the jump scares, Villains Grove is a great alternative to that. The entire walkthrough is 100% family friendly, but still manages to use light and music in a way that keeps things eerie and in the spirit of the season. And if this is just a preview of what's to come inside the Villains Land coming to Magic Kingdom in the future, then I am super pumped. Several of Disneyland's attractions refuse to stay stagnant for the holidays. They love getting all jazzed up for the season with limited time overlays that you can only experience if you're in the parks during that specific time. So if you're wanting to check out all the exclusive versions of Disneyland's most popular rides, here's a list you can refer to so you don't miss out on a thing. In Disneyland Park, Haunted Mansion has their Nightmare Before Christmas overlay that runs from early September to the beginning of January. It's a Small World holiday takes over this happiest cruise that ever sailed around Christmas season, bringing good tidings and cheer and festive lights and holiday tunes. Meanwhile, in DCA, Mission Breakout gets Monsters After Dark around Halloween time, which is the much darker version of this drop tower that's only available to ride during the second half of the park day. And Cars Land has complete Halloween and Christmas makeovers across the entire area, impacting the theming of Luigi's Rollicking Roasters and Mater's Junkyard Jamboree. And the best thing about all of these holiday overlays, you don't need a separate park ticket to experience them. They're all open during normal park operating hours. The meet and greet opportunities in Disneyland can be very similar to what you're going to experience in Disney World, but Disneyland also has characters that you're not going to find making pop-up appearances over in the Orlando scene. For example, you got lots of Marvel characters to meet and greet over in Avengers Campus in California Adventure, like Iron Man, Black Panther, Captain America, Loki, and just recently the Fantastic Four made their big DCA debut, which meant we got to meet Herbie live and in person, and that really made my day. Tinkerbell currently doesn't make regular appearances in Disney World anymore, besides appearing at Festival of Fantasy and Starlight and flying over Cinderella Castle during Happily Ever After. But you can still take pictures with her over at Pixie Hollow in Disneyland Park. Hero and Baymax have a designated meet and greet over in Disney California Adventure's San Francisco area, in case you're looking for a personal healthcare companion. Bing Bong and Joe Gardner love to hang around Pixar Place Hotel, and if you're lucky, you're going to catch Joe while he's tickling the ivories near the lobby. Now, I'll stop there for now, but I think you get the idea. Disneyland could help you knock off that bucket list meet and greet, even when Disney World can't. But at the risk of sounding like a broken record, check your Disneyland app to see who'll be out and about on the date of your visit. Now here's something you're really not going to find on the East Coast. Anaheim Duck Day takes place in mid-January in Disneyland to celebrate the city's Anaheim Ducks hockey team, featuring several day-only events, including an Anaheim Ducks cavalcade, a fan zone where you can put your hockey skills to the test, duck-themed Animation Academy drawing classes, and several specialty treats. Even if you're not a hockey fan, it is still a fun, unique Disney event to attend and a great one for the bucket list. So unless you've got a Club 33 membership handy, in which case, hi, can we be friends? You're not going to be able to make reservations for the ultra-exclusive Club 33. Now, heads up, Club 33, for those who don't know what that is the original lounge and restaurant that Walt created back when Disneyland first opened. It was a place that he would take his friends and business associates. It was the only place in the park that served alcohol for a bajillion years, really until just this past decade, until Galaxy's Edge opened. And it's just an iconic piece of history for both Walt lovers and Disney lovers. That being said, if you know a Club 33 member and they like you well enough or something, you can be invited by said member to visit the Club 33 restaurant or one of their lounges as the guest. The member just has to make the reservation at the restaurant for you or take you to the lounge themselves. There are 2 club locations on Disneyland property. The first is the OG Disneyland Park location in New Orleans Square, and the second is the 1901 lounge near Carthay Circle in Disney California Adventure. And if you're looking to join the club, well, good luck! While you can always submit a membership inquiry form on the Club 33 website, the waitlist to join can be years long. Some current members even had to wait 15 years or more to be granted their membership. And then there's the whole paying tens of thousands of dollars to stay in the club once you're accepted and have already paid your fees. So again, your chances of getting into Club 33 are probably way higher just by being associated with an already existing member. But if you want to do a bougie meal in Disneyland without having to deal with memberships, then let's talk about 21 Royal. Not to be confused with Club 33. Both 21 Royal and Club 33 are super bougie and exclusive, but you don't need any sort of membership to book a table at 21 Royal. You just need to have the means. 21 Royal is currently located in an exclusive space in the heart of New Orleans Square and was originally created as a private escape within the park where Walt and his wife Lillian could entertain family, friends, dignitaries, and celebrities. This is where Walt was going to move from his over-the fire station apartment, but unfortunately he passed away before they were able to do that. And after Walt passed away, the space was used for multiple different things, including an art gallery, an event space, and now 21 Royal has moved in and is open for private dining events. While it's fun to be part of such a bucket list dining experience, the price tag is nothing to sneeze at. The cost of the experience here is $15,000 with a maximum party of 12. But if you and 11 of your closest friends and coworkers can make it happen, you'll be in for a 5-hour meal of a lifetime. Don't forget to check out our video on this. I've been to 21 Royal 2 times and we have 2 videos all about the experience. The first video we weren't allowed to take video in 21 Royal, so there's just pictures. But the second video we were allowed to take video, so there's lots of cool stuff with all the different bedrooms and the cool things that happen and the giant bathtub. You should check it out. I do miss the Liberty Square riverboat in Magic Kingdom, but I have some good news. You can still cross off that Ride a Riverboat in Disney bucket list option if you go and visit Disneyland Park. The Mark Twain riverboat still makes its way around the Pirate's Lair and Tom Sawyer Island. Yep, they've still got Tom Sawyer's Place too, in an easygoing 14-minute steam-powered boat ride. Or if you're feeling like exploring your pirate side a bit more, you may want to sail on board the sailing ship Columbia instead. Both cruising options do close pretty early to prepare for the Fantasmic show each evening, so if either or both are bucket list experiences for you, which they should be, plan to knock them out sooner rather than later. You think the Disneyland parks are cool now? Just wait until you attend one of their specialty events. Disneyland hosts a handful of themed after-dark parties each year, which are separately ticketed events that give you Disneyland access for 4 extra hours after the park closes for everybody else, which means shorter wait times for you. You also get to enter the park 3 hours before the event starts just to get some extra time in Disneyland before the festivities kick off. Along with the shorter queues and late night hours, you'll also be able to experience exclusive After Dark activities like rare character meet and greets, specialty snacks, limited time entertainment, fun photo ops, and other After Dark attractions that you can't experience without an After Dark ticket. The Disneyland Railroad seems like your average classic Disney train ride at first, but remember, this was the first one. This is the one that set the bar. And you're going to reach that tunnel stretch between the Tomorrowland and Main Street USA stations where things suddenly take a prehistoric turn. Inside this tunnel are 2 dioramas. The first diorama depicts the Grand Canyon and features many model plants and animals against a painted backdrop. Normal enough. But the second diorama transports you back into the primeval world. When you enter into this section of the tunnel, a dramatic score starts to play while audio animatronic brontosauruses munch on some plants or just vibe all dino-like. And in the thrilling prehistoric conclusion, an epic battle between Stegosaurus and T-Rex takes place, all while they're surrounded by a stream of molten lava. And What do you mean this isn't already on your Disneyland bucket list? Get it added on there right now. Tucked into a corner of New Orleans Square in Disneyland is the famous Blue Bayou restaurant. This themed dining room gives you a nighttime ambiance, no matter what time of the day you book it for, complete with soft twinkling lights, candlelit tables, mossy trees, and best of all, a clear view of the Pirates of the Caribbean boats floating on down those swampy bayou waters. While it's never guaranteed you can secure a seat right next to the Pirates ride, and I'll be honest, I've been sat back near the kitchen too many times, it never hurts to ask about when you're checking in for a reservation, because really, those are the best seats in the house. Disney California Adventure hosts 3 festivals each year, y'all, each of which brings limited time entertainment and merchandise and unique food offerings inside the park. And if you're a big festival goer like I am, then it might be a goal of yours to experience all 3 DCA festivals at some point. Maybe not in a single year if you're not a pass holder, but, pace it out as you need to. So what festivals can you look forward to in DCA? Lunar New Year kicks things off while celebrating Chinese, Vietnamese, and Korean cultures. Food and Wine pops up next during the months of March and April, celebrating California's culinary favorites. And after a bit of festival dry spell in the summer and early fall, Festival of Holidays will kick up right before Thanksgiving, celebrating the seasons of Christmas, Navidad, Diwali, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and Three Kings Day. You might not think that a Ferris wheel is a bucket list worthy accomplishment, but Pixar Pal Around in DCA is no mere Ferris wheel, my friends. Not only does it have your classic stationary gondolas, which are a little more pedestrian, but it also has the swinging gondolas. And depending on how you feel about heights or the general feeling of being nearly slung off the side of a gigantic circle over water, the Pixar Pal Around might be the scariest ride in DCA, even more than Mission Breakout. But look, it's not every day you ride a swing/Ferris wheel hybrid, and it really is a good time just as long as you don't overthink it or, look down. So if you think your bucket list is in need of a few more conquer-worthy tasks, I think you'll feel a big sense of accomplishment after getting off this swinging gondola ride. Probably heard the age-old debate of Disneyland churros versus Disney World churros. And while the DFB consensus is always Disneyland churros or bust, unless you're getting churros from Nomad Lounge and Animal Kingdom, I think it's best to try this experiment out yourself and see if you agree with us. While classic churros are available at various snack kiosks and windows across the parks, Disneyland also has plenty of seasonal churros that you might want to try instead before they're gone for good. Either way, one bite of churro should be all it takes for you to be able to weigh in on this ongoing churro debate once and for all. Mickey's Toontown is a colorful, magical land where you're going to find plenty of nods to classic cartoons like Roger Rabbit, Rescue Rangers, and of course, Mickey, Minnie, and the gang. And while you'll have plenty of opportunities to meet Mickey and Minnie throughout Disneyland, there's something super special about meeting them in their own Toontown houses. It's like they invited you over for a little neighborhood get-together, which is super fun. So Cars Land is very cool to experience day or night, right? But when you visit right smack dab in the middle of its day to night transition, something magical takes place. You remember that part of the movie? Each evening when the sun sets, the neon lights of Radiator Springs flicker to life, starting from the courthouse and moving all the way down Route 66. It really makes you feel like you've just wheeled your way into the first film. It is so immersive. To watch this full lighting progression, you're going to want to stand toward the entrance of the land near Sarge's Surplus Gift Shop or by Mater's Junkyard Jamboree. Star Wars is a big deal in Disneyland Park, and if it's a big deal for you too, then you probably want to pay Galaxy's Edge a visit during the next Season of the Force event. Season of the Force typically happens from late March to early May. It's all around that May the 4th situation, and during this time, you're going to be able to check out limited time Star Wars entertainment, like projection shows over the Millennium Falcon, rare Star Wars character meet and greets, fireworks spectaculars blasting over Batuu, new pieces and parts to add to your custom lightsabers at Savi's workshop, the hyperspace overlay over at Space Mountain, which is my favorite version of Space Mountain, and lots of additional snacks and merchandise opportunities too. Nope, it's not just Epcot that has a holiday candlelight processional each Christmas season. Disneyland Park has one too, but what I mean by one is one. The candlelight processional one night only, features a 600-member choir and a celebrity narrator who tells the story of Christmas in front of the Main Street Railroad station. Unlike Epcot's Candlelight, Disneyland never reveals the name of the celebrity narrator until the event begins. In previous years, narrators have included Brie Larson, John Stamos, Dick Van Dyke, Kurt Russell, and Lin-Manuel Miranda. Note that Disneyland Park Pass reservations disappear real quick on Candlelight Processional Day, so you'll want to get those made ASAP if you want them at all. The Magic Key Terrace is above Wine Country Trattoria, or Trattoria, I never know how to say it, in Disney California Adventure, but reservations for this relaxing getaway can only be made by Magic Key holders. Those are pass holders. That being said, Magic Key holders are allowed to bring up to 6 non-pass holder guests along with them if they like the extra company. That way you can all knock off this bucket list item and experience those chill vibes, great drinks, incredible views of Cars Land, and shareable appetizers. In fact, now that I think about it, go up to the Magic Key Terrace and see Cars Land's transition from day to night. That would be awesome. Arguably, every horse on King Arthur's carousel is a special one, but Jingles the horse is a particularly special animal considering it was Walt's favorite horse to ride on this attraction due to all the glittery golden bells. In 2008, Jingles received a makeover to celebrate Julie Andrews and her 44 years of service to the Disney company. Imagineers thought that dedicating the lead carousel horse to the OG Mary Poppins actress would be a fitting tribute since Mary Poppins had ridden a similar carousel horse in the film. And that's how Jingles got her current blue, pink, and gold color scheme, along with Julie Andrews' initials and more Mary Poppins-themed features painted across her accessories. You'd probably be surprised to learn just how many dining packages exist in Disneyland. Then again, maybe you wouldn't be, considering there are so many shows and nighttime spectaculars to check out. So dining packages are available to book at select restaurants to give you not only a nice meal, but also VIP viewing for one of the Disneyland shows you're most excited to see. Disneyland's Enchanted Tiki Room opened on June 23, 1963, and was the first Disney attraction to ever use audio animatronics. Fun fact, the show was actually originally planned to be a dinner show, which is why it's the only Disneyland attraction that has restrooms. Pretty cool. But enough with the fun facts. If you truly want the OG Adventureland experience, you've got to first grab a classic pineapple Dole Whip over at the Tiki Juice Bar, and then you got to eat it inside the theater while all the birds sing words and the flowers croon. That's top tier bucket list fodder for you right there. You're welcome. Walt Disney didn't need a whole lot of edible glitter or Instagram-worthy elements on his meal to consider it a good one. In fact, one of his favorite things of all time was chili. Nice, simple chili. And Carnation Cafe on Main Street, USA serves up his favorite recipe to this day, called Walt's Chili, of course. This recipe was obtained by Walt's oldest daughter, Diane, so that guests year-round could come and enjoy this simple and savory recipe straight from the Disney family. Inside Sleeping Beauty Castle, you're not going to have to pay an arm and a leg to eat a meal, Cinderella Castle, but instead you can experience a totally free, well, with price of admission, walk-through attraction that retells the story of Sleeping Beauty. The walkways through the castle are dimly lit to highlight all the different scenes and interactive elements. Plus, this is one of the few Disneyland attractions where you won't have to stress over queue wait times. Just walk right on up and in you go. Now, if you are a Disneylander and you haven't done the Sleeping Beauty Castle walkthrough in a while, I don't know, put it on your bucket list next time and just kind of head through. It's really lovely. You know that, but it's really, really nice to walk through. It is a momentous occasion, your wedding day, one worth investing in a dream venue for. So if you're looking to have an intimate wedding or maybe even a romantic and memorable vow renewal, then you may want to save to book a bucket list venue in Disneyland. Over on the Disney Weddings website, you can craft that perfect Disneyland wedding you've always imagined, from the cakes to the catering to the decor, and of course, to the Disneyland venue itself. Okay, honestly, you could add several different Main Street vehicles to your bucket list. The jitney, the omnibus, the horse-drawn trolley, but I will say riding on that replica of an early fire engine is really something special. The Main Street vehicles tend to be out and about, transporting guests one way, either towards Sleeping Beauty Castle or towards the front of the park, starting at park opening and until 3 p.m. But times can and do change, so keep an eye on those via the Disneyland app before you go. The 2 locations you can wait to board are Town Square near City Hall or Central Plaza in front of Sleeping Beauty Castle. You see those little animated dolls spinning the popcorn turners inside the Disneyland popcorn carts? Yeah, these are called Roasty Toasties, and they are so fabulous. They fill me with so much serotonin, it's not even funny. Some of the roasty toasties that you're going to find around Disneyland are absolute classics and blend in with what part of the park they're occupying. See how many roasty toasties you can find around Disneyland Park the next time you visit. And don't forget to look for them in DCA too. We've spied Duke Kaboom working his magic as a roasty toasty over at Pixar Pier before, and that was a fun surprise. Back in holiday mode, I'm just always excited for Christmas. Around Christmas time, both the Candy Palace in Disneyland Park and Trolley Treats in Disney California Adventure create massive 18-inch hand-pulled candy canes on select days throughout the season. These peppermint goodies get so popular that Disneyland often uses some sort of virtual queue system so that you don't have to spend your entire day just waiting in line to buy a candy cane. So if you want to check this item off your Disneyland bucket list, then make sure you know when they're available and how they'll be available before you go. How do you get that information? Join our newsletter. It's free. We'll be sure to get you the info as soon as Disney announces it. While there are several rides in Disneyland Park that are very similar to what you might find in other Disney parks, with a few key differences here and there, Disneyland also has some completely unique attractions that you're not going to find anywhere else in the world. This includes Matterhorn bobsleds, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, R.I.P. Mr. Toad in Disney World, and Alice in Wonderland in Disneyland Park, and many of the rides in DCA like Incredicoaster, Radiator Springs Racers, and Mission Breakout. So make yourself a checklist and aim to do them all. Bonus points if you somehow manage to ride one of these classic attractions with Disney legend and Imagineer Bob Gurr, who designed lots of the ride vehicles you'll find around the park. This guy likes to make his appearance every now and then, so while the chances of riding one of the attractions he had a hand in creating is unlikely, it's not impossible. The drinks featured on the Disneyland menus? Awesome. The drinks not featured on the Disneyland menus that you have to be in the know about to actually order? Also awesome. Sometimes even better. We love getting the secret drink menu at Lamplight Lounge, which of course is a holdover from back when this was Cove Bar. While secret menu items are bound to change, some of our favorites to track down and order in the past include the Fun Wheel, made with a variety of spirits, plus pineapple juice and blue curacao. Melrose Place, Long Island inspired but with a strawberry puree. The Neverland Tea, also Long Island inspired with a pretty blue-green tint. By the way, these are all Long Island inspired. Just a heads up, like all the secret menu drinks at Lamplight Lounge are just a bunch of alcohols all thrown together. The Earthquake is the same, made with vodka, gin, rum, sweet and sour, blue curacao, Sprite, and all topped off with a 151 rum floater. The Black Pearl, just a little bit more raspberry flavored with a Pirates of the Caribbean theme. The Zombie is not pretty at all, but is definitely the route you want to choose if you're a fan of all things rum. And the Sea Witch has raspberry vodka, peach schnapps, blue curacao, and a splash of cranberry juice and Sprite. Indiana Jones Adventure takes you on a winding, bumpy journey to escape a wrath of the temple god, Mara. An unstable bridge, a chamber of mummies, a giant boulder hurtling your way, all in a day's work for Indy. Now, your ride on Indiana Jones Adventure will be different each time you decide to journey with him, not just because each Jeep has been preloaded with a variety of movements that have the potential of creating almost 160,000 different moving combinations, but also because there are 3 doors you could potentially drive through at the start of the ride. The door of youth, riches, or knowledge. Will these doors drastically change your entire ride experience? No, but it is fun to collect them all regardless. The fresh baked chocolate chip cookies are all the rage at Harbor Galley over in Bayou Country in Disneyland Park, and you can get these warm, melty, super chocolatey confections in a pack of 6 for about $7 or 13 for just over 12. But keep in mind that they sell out super quick sometimes, so you'll want to come by here early to pick up a pack while supplies last. Why are they all the rage? I don't really know. They just taste like warm from the oven chocolate chip cookies like you'd make at home, which is maybe something we don't do as often as we should, seeing how popular these are. But you're also going to see some special seasonal varieties. Right now they've got pumpkin, and then also check for any dipping sauces or just, I guess it's not sauce, like dipping frostings that will come as an extra cost. Okay, I gotta know, did any of today's items get added to your Disneyland bucket list? Did they all get added? Or are you still on the fence about what you really want to prioritize for your next Disneyland trip? Don't worry, we're not done telling you things about Disneyland yet. If you want to keep exploring and planning, be sure to check out our new rules in Disneyland video next. And don't forget to download our free 3 Perfect Days in Disneyland PDF today over at disneyfoodblog.com/Disneyland plans. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.